Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of A Nosebleed Perspective. Today, we're changing it up a little bit, and we're going to talk about our favorite beer situation or category. In order to do this, we've made a bracket and we've broken it down to four different sections: our favorite sports beer, our favorite travel beer, our favorite solo beer, and our favorite social beer.
Yeah, and so if those who want to participate, you leave a comment below with your favorite beer you feel like your bracket, or just tell us your favorite beer in the comments below, and we're going to provide a $50 gift card to just show our appreciation for you guys just listening to our channel and just kind of sticking with us. So I know it's a hard time right now with no sports going on, so just leave your comments below. What's your favorite beer and your favorite beer, situation? And we'll get back to you. And you'll be drawn, and we're going to do a Facebook Live announcement where we're going to shuffle some names in a hat, and you'll win a $50 gift card. So pretty simple. So thank you guys for watching, and we're going to get to our predictions right now. So we're going to start with the sports region in our bracket. So as the one seed, we have the Tailgate beer you drink at the tailgate right before you walk into a stadium, or versus the Turkey Day Bowl beer. So any beer you drink on Thanksgiving, your team's playing on Thanksgiving, you're back home with your family or your boys, or you just want to throw a beer back. So Gibby, what do you think going into this matchup? Tailgate 1 seed, Turkey Day Bowl 4 seed.
So let's not lie. The Turkey Day Bowl should not be knocked down. The Turkey Day Bowl is a great beer, but for me, that tailgating beer, because you just spent all that money for a ticket, whenever you get inside, them beers are going to be hella expensive. So you're trying to slam them beers. They're going down smooth. You're there at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., sharp, ready to get them beers down. So for me, unfortunately, the one seed walks away with this one at halftime. Tailgating beer moves on to the next round.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Especially here on the West Coast, you're probably there 7, 8 a.m. What other excuse do you have to drink at 7, 8 a.m. besides a tailgating beer? I mean, granted, I do love a great Thanksgiving Day beer. They're just releasing all the winter Thanksgiving Day beers. The porters, the pumpkins, all that stuff is coming out. So
Good
it's
call.
hard. It's a good competition. The 4th seed is going to come in with the Cinderella, attitude, and they're going to play a good game. But the tailgating beer is they're just the dominant team here. So I'm going to go with tailgate as well.
Absolutely. The Turkey Bowl beer, that's a solid beer, especially when you go home. And the three of us are from the military, a bunch of our listeners are in the military. You go home, you link up with your buddies from high school or whatever. You're going and playing football in the park. And afterwards, you get a cooler with you, crack a couple beers, catch up with your bros. It's an important moment. However, yeah, the tailgate beer is it's pivotal. It's so important to the overall experience of a game. There's no beating it. The tailgate beer demolishes the Turkey Bowl beer every day, twice on Christmas. Tailgate beer moves on.
Hey, it's a tough draw for the Turkey Day Bowl beer. All right, we're going to go to the 2 and the 3 seed matchup. We have at the 2 seed, the $12 beer in the stadium that you buy. Granted, very expensive, but you want to preserve it and drink it because obviously you paid $12 for it. Against the 3 seed, that first beer you crack once you step upon that golf course with your boys. All right, so I might, it's tough. It's very tough right here. I had a lot of trouble here. I'm going to go with that first beer on the golf course for me. It's tough. The $12 beer, obviously you're going to savor that thing. You love that thing. It's usually a 24 ounce too. But when you get on that golf course with your boys, you crack that beer, the sun's shining, you have the whole day ahead of you. Oh man, they're second to none. I'm going to go with the 3 seed. A little bit of an upset here. That's my winner.
As you said, CEO Dylan, that's a tough beer to beat, especially living in Phoenix, the prime time golf location. There's no beautiful sight than cracking your beer, sneaking that beer into the golf course on them fancy courses, getting that in there. But for me, unfortunately, I got to go with the $12 beer at the stadium. There is no better beer than I've ever had whenever the Chiefs played the Texans in the divisional round, and I drank that beer when they fucking popped that fucking comeback down 24-0. There's no better beer. That beer went down so smash. It was so smooth. God, if this was a 3 seed in any other division, they move on. But unfortunately, they met a tough matchup. 2 seed moves on for me. The $12 beer in the stadium, I don't care how much it costs. That shit goes down.
And this is a Sweet 16 matchup all around. You know what I mean? And we have 16 teams, so we have the best of the best who showed up to play. So it's really tough.
Comes down to
Obviously,
Cheech.
you know, it's up to Cheech now. What do you think is the best beer?
You know, the good part about being an odd number right here is that there's always going to be a majority. And I have to tell you, I've enjoyed both of these beers many times in my life. The $12 stadium beer has always been just one of those prime beers in my life. However, I have to say, in 2014, the first time I stepped on a golf course and sat in a golf cart and cruised around that golf course at Osan Air Base with an 18-pack of Miller Lights in the back of the golf cart, nothing hit the same. Nothing hit the way that first beer on that golf course hit, at least in that moment, and for the considerable future. So, for that reason, the 3 seed first beer on the golf course moves on for the
Nice. We got an upset right away.
Upset in the first bracket.
Love it. All right. So that brings us to, we're going to stay in each region or however you want to take it. And we're going to stay in there until we got a winner, and then we'll move to our final 4. So now we come to a tough decision between the Tailgate Beer and that golf course beer that we just spoke so highly of. Gibby, what are your thoughts on this, since you were the odd man out on the last round?
I was, and I feel like this 2-3 matchup was the toughest matchup in the whole bracket. Woo. That first golf course we've all lived in Arizona, and I think that's might be why we're a little bit biased. And I haven't lived in America to enjoy the Tailgate Beer that often. I've got to go with the 3 seed here, baby. That first on the golf course, the sun rising, you just hit. I would get off on swings, and this is why I love my first supervisor. Shout out, Bones Medina. We would get off on swings at 2 a.m. We'd go take a nap, and we'd hit the golf course at 6 a.m., baby. We'd see the sun rise over the mountains. It was beautiful, baby. I'm going with the 3 seed, that first beer on the golf course, because my supervisor sucked at golf, and I knew I was taking all his money all day, baby.
You got to respect that. Cheech, what are your thoughts here?
Nice. All right, so I love that first golf. I just said I love that first beer on the golf course. However, that Tailgate Beer is just so pivotal, man. Like, going to that game, you spent. We'll just say, I'll just pick a Jets game real quick. A team that went 7-9 last season. You're spending $150 on tickets. You're spending $15 on beers. So say I want to go to a Jets game and drink 3 beers, I'm spending nearly $200. So you know what's more important than spending $200? Them Tailgate beers. Tailgate beer beats golf course beer in this round for me.
Dang. Just so everyone knows who is still listening, we have not pre-recorded this or talked about our answers in any way. So every time we come to a final decision on our third vote, it's new to all of us. That being said, I have to agree with Cheech on this because, man, woo! That Tailgate Beer is everything. And in that moment, when that game's about to start, it's about 20 minutes before kickoff. You got to slam, it doesn't even matter. You can slam 3 or 4 in that time period. Because you have to get loaded to go in there and have a great time. Not that you wouldn't have a great time, but I mean, come on, we're all beer drinkers here. You want to have a good time. Those tailgating beers are the best beers in this region. So that's why I have to go with tailgating beers to win this division or region. So the 1 seed prevails. Sorry, Gibby.
It's all right. 0-2, baby.
All right, so now we're going to move towards the travel region. The travel region will take on the sports region when we come down to our final four. So keep that in mind. And we're going to move to our 1 seed, the layover beer. You ever been in an airport? You have some time. You're in an airport. What do? You go grab a cold beer. Are you in a new place? Of course you are, because you've never been there before, or you're returning, whatever. You want to try the beers in that local region. That's why I have the layover beer moving on to the second round against the 4 seed, the 30,000 feet in the air on an airplane beer. And we have to all respect the airplane beer. You know, there's some science into, what is it, like blood level? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe Cheech knows. Maybe I don't know.
Cheech,
There's some
smart
science
one over
behind it. Yeah, he's the smartest. You get that buzz quicker, but you got to pay for that, just like you got to pay for a layover beer. But that layover beer really, it bridges that time between flights where you're trying to go, because really no one likes to spend time in an airport. So I feel like that layover beer just plays a pivotal role. Gibby, what are your thoughts?
All right. As you talked about layover beer, the 1 seed, there's a reason it's the 1 seed. It's worked its ass off. It's expensive for a reason. The 30,000 feet in the air beer, international flights, baby, just for our listeners. If you're flying international, that shit is free. Get you your free Budweiser. Get you that shit. I'm a tight ass, right, of the group. I'm going to have long layovers. I flew to Australia, had a 13-hour layover in China, baby. I need that layover beer. So unfortunately, the 1 seed moves on. I'm finally in the majority, baby. Let's go. 1 seed layover beer.
Let's go, Cheech.
You're right. You're in the majority on that one. I am definitely the minority here. I picked the 30K beer. Drinking a beer at 30,000 feet altitude, I mean, you're like, I think of it this way. I'm halfway between this airplane just like crashing into the earth and just dying, and halfway into the plane just accidentally going to outer space and dying. So I think that those 30,000 foot altitude beers are super important because they're the buffer that keeps me from crashing into the earth or going into outer space.
Sounds like you have trust issues with pilots.
I don't know. But yeah, I had the 30K beer also because like I kind of take the layover beer for I don't take it for what it is, just because they're all free for me because I have an Amex Platinum card. But yeah, so you guys win with the layover beer. You guys beat my 30K beer. So
yeah, it's tough, and we can. I'm glad that moved on because I have more to discuss about the layover beer. Anyway,
yeah.
All right, so we'll move. We're still in the travel region. We're going to go to the 2 seed and 3 seed. The 2 seed is that beer when you crack open, when you're on a beach vacation, that sun is shining, your ass is in the sand, your toes are in the water.
That's a song.
That is.
Yeah, Zach Brown. Yeah, no. It's going to – which is like, I mean, that's a strong beer choice right there.
It is, yeah.
But it goes against the 3 seed, exploring a new country. And when you go to a new country and they have all these new beers and there's all these new flavors. Gibby, what are your thoughts on the 2 versus 3? Beach vacation versus exploring a new country?
It's really unfortunate because I hate that all these 2-3 seeds, I hope they aren't all this tough, but seriously, these 2-3 seeds are tough. They could all be 1 seeds, baby. But there's nothing better in my life. The best days of my life are going to a beach and not giving a frick about anything in life besides the beer I'm drinking. All-inclusive package, paying, I don't give a damn because I know my supervisor's not calling. I know my boss ain't calling, and maybe the rest of America doesn't have to worry about this, but I'm not on call because I'm in Fiji, I'm in the Maldives, I'm wherever the hell I am, and I can't solve a damn problem. So maybe that's why I'm a little bit biased here. But that beach vacation beer, that first one that you crack and you hear that and your toes are in the water and the water is crystal blue, that's the best beer by far. Beach vacation, exploring a new country deserves freaking respect. And Thursday Night Tea, they win that shit.
Fair. Cheech, what do you think?
That's solid. I mean, you made a great argument there, and I have to agree that beach beer is the better beer because of one major reason. We talk about the explorer beer and going to a new place and trying local beers. I don't know how many of our viewers have been to South Korea, but OB Height and Cass are not good beers. While the beach beer is your preference and is always good.
And if
So
you drink
that's why
if you
Good
drink
call.
that height from South Korea on a beach, it wouldn't even fucking matter.
no,
Because-
it's not good. Yeah, OB Height on a beach doesn't make OB Height good. Beach beer wins.
Let's go, baby. Good call.
You know what? Originally, when I looked at this, I saw,
It's tough.
there's so many places in the world that have great beer. But I can't disagree with you all on this because there is no better feeling than having no stress in the world
None.
than being in the sand, being in the sun, drinking. And it doesn't even matter what beer you have at that point, as long as you have something to get you through the day. So I am going to go with the beach beer as well. So beach vacation beer moves on to the next round.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
Yeah, it's
Get
our
the
first one,
brooms
right?
out. Yeah.
So that moves on to face the layover beer. So at the 1 seed, the layover, and the 2 seed beach vacation beer.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and start us off. I feel like I might have an unpopular opinion here, but I do think that the layover beer moves on in the next round. Listen, so the layover beer is one of the best moments like you can have in your traveling process. And I understand you're traveling to the beach vacation, blah, blah, blah. But man, the people you meet in the layover beer, you just sit there. You have no worries in the world because where are you going? You're going to that beach vacation. You know what you're going to get. You have that ID in your head. I'm going to get like a rack of Bud Light, Budweiser, Miller Lite, whatever you want. But when you're on that layover, you sit there, you crack up, or you don't even crack. It's poured nicely in a glass right there. Cold beer, doesn't matter. And you get to pick too. You get to pick. All right, do I want an amber? Do I want a light beer? Do I want a dark beer? Do I want an IPA? It's going to be fucked up. Does not matter. It's locally brewed usually, and you get to meet some weird ass people usually. I every time I've had a layover beer, they're like the people I'm like, holy shit, I gotta learn something new about the world today. So I am gonna have to go with the layover. I feel like I'm gonna lose this round, but I do love the layover beer just because the people you meet at that bar in some foreign city or some random city you're not from. So I'm going with the layover.
All right. So listen, we all know you don't buy a vacation for the layover. Sometimes you spend extra money so you don't have that extra layover. You are buying to relax, enjoy everything. I met in Fiji, some fucking stupid ass island east of Australia. I met the PACAF Burger King guy. He hooked me up. We talked about it. There is no better beer in the world than the beach vacation beer. That is your whole goal in life. Your whole goal in life is to not be in debt, get all that so you can get to that vacation beer. That is the journey. On the way to the journey, enjoy your layover beer because it is a fantastic beer. But you ain't paying for the layover beer. You're paying for the feet in the water and ass in the sand beer because that's what hits the spot, baby. The 1 seed moves on.
What happens though when you're say like for instance you're going back to Missouri or something, or
No.
we're going?
No one is talking about a great beer in Missouri, but go ahead.
Exactly. That's my point. The highlight of that trip is where you stop on the way and get that layover beer, baby. Because that layover beer is like, all right, I gotta go.
He's trying to sway you in the wrong direction.
Well,
Make
but
the right decision.
I just want to actually clarify something real quick because you said, and you'll hear it when you listen back, you said the 1 seed moves on, but the beach beer is the 2 seed.
It's true. It's okay. It's okay. We
But
knew your
I
decision.
understand what you said. However, just so that the fans can see, so that they don't think there's any bias here. I had the 4 seed winning this one, which is the 30K beer. So I am strictly making my decision based on experience on this one. And I have to say, the beach beer versus the layover beer is a tough competition.
Very tough.
However, I have found historically in my beach vacations that I prefer a Mai Tai or an umbrella drink. Therefore, if we are talking about beer specifically, the layover beer defeats the beach beer. Because, like, yeah, I could crush Coronas with lime on a beach all day. However, I'm going to ask homie to bring me a Mai Tai or a Hurricane or a Pina Colada. Because I want a vacation. I'm not vacation until there's an umbrella in my drink. So, and that might be, people might look at that as kind of like a scapegoat or like a workaround. But we're talking about beer, and layover beer beats the beach beer when I'm on vacation.
And it was a hard decision either way.
No, that was a good point. Good point. Great point. You need that umbrella, baby.
You have to, because we're talking
good
about
call, Cheech.
The 2C was beach vacation beer.
Yep, you're right.
And even I'm a huge beer connoisseur. I don't drink liquor. You can ask these two. I don't drink liquor because it's just not a good deal for me. But when I was on the beach, what did I drink? I drank liquor.
Yeah, sure.
So,
big fact. Good call, Cheech.
That was a good point. All right, so in our final 4 matchup, we have the layover beer versus the tailgate beer. So we'll keep that in mind, but we're going to move to our other 2 regions now. All right, we're going to move to our social region now. So social region is going to include some beers you have with people, obviously, hence the name social. So at the 1 seed, we have the long time no see, aka reunion beer. And this might hit a little bit different for like people like us in the military who have not seen our friends or whoever it may be, family, in a long time. And you have that first beer, crack it open with somebody you haven't seen in a while. Versus the 4 seed, which is, possibly a Cinderella story, but we don't know. We'll get there. When that Uber and Lyft is arriving, that beer you smashed, and it's not necessarily a best beer moment, but that 4 seed with the Uber and Lyft arriving is a very pivotal beer that we're going to talk about. So we have the 1 versus the 4 here. Cheech, what do you think about this? What do you think?
All right, so the social beer is a very, very important situation for me, because I've lived through both of these situations many times. I've had the reunion beer with both of you guys. Dylan, I've flown to Arizona to hang out with you. Gibby, we've met up in Seoul together and got hammered, plus his wedding. When we met up for that was the first time we saw each other for 2.5, 3 years, some crazy stuff like that. So this was a no-brainer for me. Easy dub for number 1. Reunion beer wins the social aspect in the 1 versus 4 category.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Gibby, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, Logs, man, I'm not a big hugger, but when we came back for your wedding, we gave the hug, we had the beer at the airport waiting for Cheech to get there. That shit was too good, man. That shit went down too smooth.
Sorry,
too smooth for a red ale.
Yeah,
we couldn't wait, baby.
I was so bummed out that you got there before me.
But that shit, it just hits different. Maybe that's just our job, and that's unfortunate. But when you make good friends like that, and that shit happens, that cheers, and that we'll be back together and everything. It's way better than getting an Uber and we're already fucked up going to the club.
Yeah, I have to agree. This was an easy one for me. I mean, not that the Uber Lyft beer arriving, you get that notification. Your Uber is 1 minute away. You slam some shit, and it definitely helps for the rest of the night.
It's an important minute. It's an important minute in your life. Like, you have to chug that beer. Like, you're telling all your boys, like, "Oh, Uber's here. Like, let's go." Chug it.
Especially if you're the one who orders the Uber, you have to not only gather everyone, you have to chug as much as you can. So it's very important, but nothing hits, like you guys just said, the way that long time no see reunion beer, and I feel like that's the story of my life. Every time I hang out with anybody who I actually like, it's always a long time no see beer. So that one has to move on with ease, unfortunately, for the Uber Lyft beer. All right, so the 2-3 seed. 2 seed, we have the social. We're in the social region, just to clarify. 2 seed is the Bonfire beer, sitting around that fire late at night. You had some drinks in you. You're going to continue to have some drinks in you. That Bonfire beer is going to be tough to beat. But at the 3 seed, we have, you just got off work, you come home, you change, you go to the bar, or straight from work, you drink a beer. Straight from work, you just came home, you crack a beer. Straight from work, you just go to the bar. That beer, that first beer right when you get off work after a hot day. Cheech, let us know your thoughts on this, because this is kind of tough for me.
This one, this was actually a no-brainer for me, because I had a lot of these beers in my life. I've worked swings most of my career, and that work to bar or work to beer, how I like to call it, that you go from working to drinking immediately, that crushes the Bonfire. Bonfires are cool, don't get me wrong. I got arrested at a bonfire when I was 17 years old, and my mom hated me for it. She had to come get me at the police station. It was crazy stuff. I've been to plenty of bonfires, good time. However, that work to bar or work to beer, that is my favorite beer. And out of these two, the 3 seed moves on for me.
For sure, man. So that Bonfire beer, as you talked about, that's the high school beer, baby. That's your team just won. Friday Night Lights, baby. We're not that we promote underage drinking here at the Nosebleed, but that's that beer, baby. That's that beer. You got a big fire, you're just kind of chilling and everything. But them swings, Friday Night Lights, when you just get your ass whooped, you're doing everything. And I think that we're all kind of biased just with our job on this one. I mean, 2 tours to Korea, being overseas for this long. Hey, we got whooped this week. Let's go to the bar. That first beer hits way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's tough. Like you said, that Bonfire beer, it's great. It's great. You get your friends together. It's, you have a good time. No worries in the world. But boy, when you get absolutely shafted at work, and then you come home and you crack that first beer and you just put it down knowing that those worries are over, nothing compares to that. That's a potential Cinderella story in itself as a 3 seed. So look out for that in the long run. But, man, nothing compares to that. And we might be biased, like you said, but if you've ever been just absolutely fucked at work, that beer tastes. So I feel like you might be with us. So
slaps.
Yeah. All right. So now we got a tough decision. We have the 1 seed, the long time no see, or AKA reunion beer, versus that straight from work, you just got shafted after a long week of work beer. Gibby, let us know your thoughts. This is kind of tough, but it's kind of easy at the same time for me.
So no matter how many times you get shafted at work, no matter how many times life seems tough, them reunion beers stick with you forever. I will never forget the reunion beers. They're beers with the boys that you're like, oh, life, but this is what it's all about. You look up to these beers for years, sometimes months, but sometimes years. Your boy finally got married. He had this long engagement, whatever it takes. But there's just the long time no see reunion beer. It's just, it can't be beat, baby.
It's going to be hard to beat. So I totally agree. Because you get immune and used to that weekly or daily beer, whatever it may be, after work. But man, what are you doing that whole time at work? You're thinking of that one beer when you can meet up with the homies again and drink that beer with them. So hey, it's going to be hard to beat. We'll see how it's going. I mean, obviously, I have the long time beer. Cheech, what do you have?
No, I'm going with the reunion beer too, man. This was another clean sweep. The one seeds are crushing it right now. I mean, the reunion beers, like I've just had so many reunion beers in my career, man. Like between the two of you, uh, going back to Korea in 2018 and the dudes that I met back up with out there that were there when I was there in 2014 and 15. And then just getting to like new bases and just like catching up with new guys. I mean, it's crazy how often you can have a reunion beer, but when you move as much as I have and as much as you guys have, like they're a frequent thing. So reunion beer, especially when it's with your bros, man. Like
Yeah, and we could
I
be.
look forward to our next reunion beer.
Oh man, I think about it every day. It's tough. I know, but like, it's hard. We may be a little biased, obviously, because of the situation that we decided to be in. But you ask a small town this, they're probably going to take Bonfire for the win. But
Yeah.
anyway, all right. So long time no see. Reunion beer moves on, and we have our last region, which is the solo region. That beer you drink all by yourself, no matter what's going on. And we're going to start with a 1 versus 4 matchup. The 1 seed, the shower beer. That beer you drink after a long day or however it unfolds. That shower beer, we'll get into it, whatever. Versus the 4 seed, that she's getting ready beer. Your girlfriend, your wife, your whoever you're waiting for, getting ready. You're about to go out. She's getting ready, putting her makeup on and stuff. You've been ready for 2 hours. That beer you drink in that moment, which is awesome. It's a strong case. I will say, I'll lead this off. It's a strong case because I've drank that beer many a times. It's so good because you're just getting up to that next level. All while she's getting ready. It's perfect. It's cheap. It's great financially. With that shower beer, boy, woo! The shower beer moving on to the Final Four. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. Is going to be hard to beat. It's going to be tough. It's going to have a tough matchup in this region. But that shower beer, nothing is better than you just sitting there with your, solitary and just drinking that shower beer, especially if you have somewhere to put that beer. That's going to change some minds too. You have to have a place for that beer. So, Gibby, I'll give it to you. What do you think?
Yeah, so I agree. The shower beer is great. You know what's better than the shower beer? When your wife or your girlfriend or your significant other knows that you need that beer while you're taking that shower. You've worked your ass off, you're hot, you're sweaty, you're taking a shower, and she sticks her hand in there with the beer. Oh my God, that beer hits on another level, baby. The shower beer moves on. The She's Getting Ready beer is a great beer. It is a great beer. But sometimes it's 1 beer. Sometimes it's fucking 10 beers. And you're already fucked up before you're going out, just depending on how she's being. We all know that.
Yep.
Love you, but shower beer.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a clean sweep for the shower beer, too. I mean, you guys have been in the group chat where I've raged about a She's Getting Ready beer or a She's Getting Ready handful of beers. And, I mean, like you said, Gibby, you hit the nail on the head. It could be 1, it could be 10, it could be God knows how many. And it could get to the point where you're just getting wasted as you're just waiting.
Just watching reruns of Sports Center.
Exactly. Like, yeah, you watch the top 10 so many times, you literally just know. Like, you know what's going to happen in the next top 10. You're not even amped anymore about the top 10. And that's why the She's Getting Ready beer it's a sadder beer. It's honestly, the She's Getting Ready beer is probably like one of the saddest beers on this bracket because, like, I don't enjoy that beer.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So, yeah, shower beer wins sweep.
I will say I have enjoyed some She's Getting Ready beers because I don't know, I guess I'm married, so it's different. But anyway.
Yeah, usually it's like frustration and patience.
Yeah. Oh, boy. All right, so now we have the 3 and 2 seed. At the 2 seed, we have the all-day barbecue beer. That beer you're drinking all day when you're smoking, grilling, and cooking beer or cooking food all day. Versus that beer when you're working on at the 2 seed. when you're working on your car, you're working on your dirt bike and Chi-Chi's case. That beer you're working on with any, like, we'll just go with household appliance or any type of personal appliance, anything like that.
Can we add yard into this? Like
Yeah,
yard work?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So pretty much like that beer you're working on for, as a homeowner, as a owner in general, I would say. So that beer, personal use,
All right. So I'll take this one. It's barbecue all day because you are trying to show your caveman instincts that you can make fire and meat taste delicious. And as long as you're fucked up, you don't have to eat. So you give it all to your people. You take a $1 a pound meat and you make it delicious. You make it tender. You give it to your boys. But you've been drinking all day, so you don't have to eat, but maybe like one little slider. So it's the barbecue all day beer for me.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a no-brainer. I added in the yard work thing just to God and give a little more perspective to it. But no, barbecuing. There's literally when I'm grilling, there's a spatula or tongs in my right hand and a beer in my left hand, and nothing else. Nothing else fits. So barbecue beer wins this category.
Yeah, this was easy for me. I mean, I'm never going to be at the level that Gibby is, but it doesn't matter. When you're creating your own Picasso on that grill, nothing else matters. When you have that beer in your hand, it doesn't even matter if it's good at that point. When you're drinking, just putting them down, and then at that point when you finally get to eat, you're like, it's pretty fucking good, even if it's bad. That shit, nothing compares to that. Look out for the barbecue beer to make a run. All right, so now we're still in this region, obviously, the Solo region. And big shout out to the Solo beer because obviously we're here now.
Important.
We should have put the podcasting beer. God damn it.
Ooh,
think about
that's
that.
a podcasting beer, yeah.
Ooh,
But not everyone knows.
That's like the podcasting half dozen beers minimum.
Yeah, I know, it's tough.
100% at least 16.
All right, so we have the shower beer as the 1 seed versus that 2 seed as the barbecue beer. Anything want to start off? This
I
is
got
really
you.
tough. All right, Gibby.
So for me, it's got to be the barbecue beer because it's a long period of time. You're smashing multiple beers. You're getting happier as the day goes on. The shower beer is a turning point from, oh my God, my fucking job or my school sucks and I hate everything about it. I need a beer. The barbecue beer is the beer that I know joy is coming, and I woke up extra early to smoke a brisket or smoke pulled pork or maybe even just throw some chicken wings on. It doesn't matter. I've been happy all day with the shower beer. I'm not happy all day. I'm trying to become happy. That's why the barbecuing all day beer moves on to the final four, baby.
Yeah, that could not have been said better. Barbecue beer moves on because, like you said, the shower beer is literally the shower beer is the reparations for the day. The shower beer is trying to make up for what happened. I just changed the oil in my car. I just spent an hour and a half changing gaskets on my dirt bike. I just murdered weeds in my backyard for 6 hours. I need a shower beer so that I don't fall into a pit of depression. That barbecue beer, that's just slapping all day. I got some chicken on there. I got some brats on there. I got some brisket on there. I got some steak on there. No matter what's on there, it's going to be delicious. And that beer that's in my left hand while I'm making meat taste good, that beer in my left hand is delicious too. 3 moves on.
I've already lost, but did I really lose? Because that barbecue beer is the best beer that there is on the planet. That shit is so good. And like you said, Gibby, you look like, so Monday morning when you wake up, you go to work. I want you to think about this. You wake up, you go to work, you're thinking about, all right, what am I going to do next weekend? And for us, we're thinking about what the fuck are we going to cook? What are we going to cook and what are we going to drink while we cook? Because what we drink is almost as important to what we cook because you want to make that day so like just the best day. So from my experience, you look at, what I'm cooking, but that drink you're drinking while you're cooking is equally as important. So I'm going to go with the barbecue. That moves on. And here we are, barbecue in the finals.
Nice.
Woo.
Final four.
All right. So now, whew, okay. So now we have the, this is going to be tough. We have, we have the layover beer that won
Yep.
versus the sports region tailgate beer. We'll go ahead and dissect this first.
Okay.
Layover beer, tailgate beer. I'm going to go ahead and lead this off. Look, the tailgate beer it's the best beer. It's cheap. It's, effective. It does what it needs to do. But I'm like a very independent person, so I'm going to go with the layover beer here because I know it might be a surprise, but I love those interactions I get with strangers. I love that shit. So I also love trying new beers from new cities or new countries, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to go with the layover beer just on the sole fact that the experience I get there is second to none. I'll never get that again, no matter where I am. The tailgate beer, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get cheap beer, which is great in the time being. Like, obviously, we're in the Final Four. These teams made it here for a reason. But in my head, that one seed layover beer beats that one seed tailgate beer because those experiences, to me, are something that you'll never forget. That beer you taste could like set you on a path of beer that and if you're a beer connoisseur like I am, you recognize that. So try new beers in new cities for sure. And that's why I go with the layover beer.
Gibby, can I pass you the deciding vote on this one? And I take this middle one. All right. I am going with the tailgate beer. I'm going with the tailgate beer because have you ever been to an SEC football game? Have you ever experienced an SEC town? The number one beer that you can ever have. I don't care if I'm drinking Bud Light, PBR, Dog's Head, or whatever that one is. I don't care, man. I don't care if it's Delirium. I don't care if it's. I've got the Untapped app where I can track all my beers on there, and I've had some great beers and I've had some terrible beers. The tailgate beer beats the layover beer because sometimes you don't want that layover. You want that tailgate beer every time, though. If you are tailgating a sporting event, you want that beer. If you have a layover, you're drinking that beer because you were forced into that situation because you could not get a direct flight. Tailgate beer beats layover beer.
It's a good case.
So
Good case.
I feel like this is a tough decision for me, and I've been on the L's this whole day. I've been catching a lot of L's because my favorite beer got knocked out in the first round, so I'm a little upset. But that tailgate, that layover beer, baby, like your whole life you save money, you try to invest, you try to do whatever you can to get to your vacation spot, right? And sometimes you got to get that tailgate or that layover beer. And that layover beer just gets you happy. It gets you stoked. It gets you stoked for that vacation because you're one flight away from joy. But it's all about that tailgate beer, baby. There is nothing better. Shout out to my boy Redmond. Shout out to all my boys at DM. We would go tailgate for shitty-ass U of A games. And that's all that mattered. I couldn't tell you who won the game. Couldn't tell you who won the U of A games. But I could tell you the beers I drank. I could tell you the food I ate. The freaking tailgate beer. There's nothing better, baby. We get excited for it. And it's all about that. It's going on to the championship. Let's go tailgate beer.
I feel like I knew that I was going to lose that. And no disrespect to the Tailgate Beer, because the Tailgate Beer is second to none when it comes to what it serves as, obviously. But, I just love the layover. So Tailgate Beer moves on to the final. Who will it face? We're about to discuss that right now. All right, so now we have so we had Tailgate moving on. From the social bracket, the long time no see, you miss your homies, the reunion beer that you all, look forward to, versus the solo regions winner, that all day you've been barbecuing beer or grilling, smoking, whatever you may do. So long time no see, a reunion versus barbecue beer. What are your thoughts, Gibby? I know this is
All right. So we all know I love food. I'm the fattest man in the nosebleeds. I love food. There's nothing that brings me more happiness than food. But that is false. Drinking with the homies that you've built a bond with and you've hung out with, you've been through the grind with, that long time no beer, it just goes down too smooth. There might be 12 beers you drink when you're barbecuing or 15 beers when you're smoking. But that one beer, the long time no see, how you been, tell me about your life, tell me about your wife beer, that hits the best. Long time no see, reunion beer, for me, moves on to the championship.
Oof. Cheech. I mean, God, that's a good case there, Gibby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board. I am 100% reunion beer on that one. The barbecue beer is delicious. I enjoy it very much. But, I drink that barbecue beer while I'm texting you guys or while I'm texting my mom or while I'm texting Carla or anybody. I'm drinking the barbecue beer while I'm texting the people that I miss. So the reunion beer demolishes the barbecue beer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I had this too. I mean, it's hard to not. I think of that beer in the airport when we were waiting for Cheech. It's not that me and Gibby had it together, but it's that fact that we were drinking I think it was like a Kilt Lifter, the beer down here in Arizona.
Exactly.
We were drinking it down. We were having a good time, and we were waiting for the other guy. So that beer was like, oh man, when you just, because you can talk every day like we have, but when you actually get to see somebody in person, nothing beats that. You put that beer down. Granted, I mean, obviously that barbecue beer is so good. I mean, you look forward to that all week, but you look forward to meeting your homies again for years in our case. So I got to go with the long time beer. So yeah.
Now we're on to the championship.
Yeah, so we have the Tailgate Beer versus the long time no see beer. What do you guys?
I'll lead us off here. This is a difficult one because I mean you have two different spectrums here. You have on the tailgate side, you have the chosen. I have chosen to go to this tailgate and rage before I go to this football game or this hockey game or this baseball game or whatever the sport, versus the unchosen, the necessary, the reunion beer, because you can't always be with your homies because you're gonna live around the world or do whatever's going on. So these are very different circumstances. However, chosen, unchosen, I got to go with the one that I cannot control, and that's the reunion beer. Because I will always be able to choose which sports game I want to tailgate at. I will never be able to choose when I'll actually be able to reunite with my homies. Reunion beer wins the best beer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I didn't have the same Final Four as us. I had different ones, but man, when you come down, when you get down to it, it's just like this beer's got to win. I think everybody who's listened this far, they know when actually you get around people you want to be around, and especially if they're flying from different places, man, that beer just hits so much different. And that's the winner for me. And I know we already have two verses. I'm sure maybe Gibby, agrees, but that long time no see, that reunion beer is the best beer that you can drink in life. So that's my
Yeah,
thought.
as CEO Dylan said, I got a championship banner right here, baby. I got a championship banner right here. I would trade both of them to have 6 beers with my homies right here. That shit just hit differently, baby. We've been through that shit, and we've done stupid shit together, and all that stuff. But you don't get to choose when them beers come. So you enjoy them beers a little bit differently. I'm not gonna lie to you fellas though. You guys are my homies, but if Beach Vacation made it to that championship, baby, I'm picking Beach Vacation because there's no better beer than a fucking Beach Vacation. But
That's
I would
fair.
trade that championship and that championship to have 2 beers with the homies, and I appreciate you fellas. Please, give us your all's favorite beers so we can give you an Amazon gift card. I know life's been rough right now, fellas, and ladies. So just give us a few comments. Tell us what your favorite beer is so we can enter you in that drawing.